All right, so this is me, and today we're going to go over basically series ideas. I've done videos like this before, ideas of series I want to do on various different channels. And yeah, I said different channels because I'm going to branch out a bit. I'm going to try and make like this channel the more entertainment-based channel, and then my other channels based on like more, one's going to be more serious, one's going to be more focused on like Texas Hold'em, I guess. Maybe other card games if I feel like it, just so, you know, I can fit a niche audience and not, you know, try to force a square peg into a round hole. Because it seems like I've tried branching out here, and it seems like a lot of the older people who were here before just aren't really embracing the new content. So it's sort of like, it's probably better just to spread it out among different channels and have different audiences for each one. Not to mention, if my channel does get like terminated or whatever, I don't think it will, but if it does, it'd be nice not to have all my eggs in one basket, or like one of them gets demonetized or something. It'd just be nice to have a little bit of branch out. It'd be like more like an inconvenience than a serious problem. Well, it'd still be a pretty serious problem, but it wouldn't be like the end of the world. So the first one's the My Life with Autism one. I might change the name of that, honestly. I don't know what to, but I don't know. I feel like I want to change that a little bit. Some of the things I want to do are Reddit readings. Yeah, that's a big thing. People read the Reddit comments and then talk about it, or the Reddit stories and comments and give their responses. I don't know if I'll get big off of that, but I definitely would have some pretty passionate commentary. There's also some personal experiences that I can relay to the stories being told. Like sometimes I hear the stories, I'm like, oh my gosh, I know exactly what you're talking about. So I can definitely give my feedback in that regard. Could be a good catalyst to talk about things that are really important to me that I don't even think of too. Serious reactions, I mean, just reactions to more serious content. I don't know, like, I think it'd be like, you know, the Lenny one, you know, the one where I reacted to Lenny's speech or something. It'd be more like that type of stuff as opposed to like stuff that's designed to make you laugh. Story readings, yeah, I think if my stories are more serious and less comedic, so they would fit better on that. I might still read the demos on this channel just to give people an idea of it, because I'm probably going to change things a bit, and I said I'd do it on here, and I don't want to like say, well, no, I'm not going to do it, but I think that long term, that's where they're going to find their home. Rants, I don't know. Rants and story time are kind of the same thing, just one of them is more angry than the other one, talking about past experiences and things I've had to deal with, and just frustrations and whatnot. Like, I don't know, people just not responding to text messages, people ghosting me, just all this other frustrating stuff that I've had to deal with way too many times in my life, and it just gets so tiring. A neurodivergent reacts. I guess this would maybe fit more with the Lenny's speech thing, because actually this would be like me reacting to portrayals of those with disabilities in the media and different things and like different documentaries on it, and just my thoughts on it. Is it accurate? Is it not accurate? I don't even know. Like, you have to, I mean, at least to be a catchy title, right? Then movie rage reviews. So there's a lot of scenes in some movies like Wreck-It Ralph that really just piss me off, and I want to, you know, tear them apart. I want to rant about them and say this is a problem. Like Wreck-It Ralph really bothers me, because I brought up the example. I'll explain it, because it kind of seems like it's an abuse victim who's trapped in an abusive situation, and then when he tries to say fuck it, I don't want to be in this abusive situation, and leaves, then he's the bad guy, not just in title from the game, but literally the bad guy. The movie's trying to demonize him for that. How dare you leave your abusive situation? You can see that bothers me. That really bothers me. And there's other things that bother me too, like the way Flick was treated in Bug's Life or stuff. I don't know. I'll think of stuff. Science topics, I mean, I don't know. A lot of people have done this before, but this would be like my attempt to talk about various things ranging from like, why is the sky blue, to circumhorizontal arcs, to even why is a red dwarf a potentially habitable area? Is there a way to get around the flare problem on them? I don't know. Autism boot camp and neurotypical boot camp. Well, I've talked about how both communities suck multiple times in my video, and I'm going to go Gordon Ramsay on both of them and basically call out and chew them out for things that have really bothered me in the past. Like for the disabled community, not responding to text messages. That's a really big problem that I've had with people in that community. For the neurotypical community, people being too judgmental and trying to create facades. Oh, we got to clean. our house when we have company over because we want to pretend that we're really clean. Well, fuck that shit. Stop lying. It's dumb. Or, hey, you got to wear ties to this. Why do I have to wear suit and tie? It's uncomfortable for me. Shouldn't you want me as a guest to be comfortable? You know, there's a lot of things that I want to rant about and call out. And I think it'd be pretty nice, and it'd be nice to go Gordon Ramsay on some of these things and say, you want to have friends, you want to have people in your life, this is not how you behave, or this is just stupid and I'm tired of it. Then social experiments, that's on the, I mean, I've always wanted to do social experiments. This would maybe be more serious ones, but I've always wanted to do this. The problem is kind of finding a second person to do it with. Because again, I don't have many friends, and the ones I've brought this up to really haven't engaged it. So it's like, well, how am I supposed to do social experiments? Because if I'm doing the social experiment, who's going to hold the camera? You see what I'm saying there? I mean, I suppose I could tape it to like a lamppost or something, but then someone could steal it. So I don't know. I think I just need a second person for that. And without a second person, that's going to be difficult, but it's something I do want to do. We'll see if we can find a second person at some point. Then there's the Overpair Gaming, possibly change name. I do have to say that has a decent ring to it. This would be my poker channel. So there's lots of poker vloggers. They talk about recent sessions and hands they played and their thought process. I want to do that. I also want to go a bit above and beyond, though, too. Hand reviews. Breaking down very important hands and analyzing them more deeply than just a small portion of a vlog. And I would take requests for this, too, if people wanted to submit their hands. Just don't have the middle finger sticking up when you submit your hand. Poker concepts. You know, how to play. When to slow play. How big to bet. When to bet. Player type. Stuff like that. I definitely think there's a lot I could share there. Be the villain. That's kind of, that's the same thing as hand reviews, except instead of focusing on me, it would be focusing on someone I played against and pointing out some fundamental mistakes they had. A poker player reacts. Yeah, more reaction videos, this time to like famous hands, like he called a raise with Queen 10, honey, this idiot from Northern Europe. Or it's maybe movie scenes, like the ones in James Bond, analyzing how they played the hand and like whether the people who made the movie even knew anything about the game before they actually wrote the scene and scripted it. And I guess poker game reviews, I don't know, I think that's me just going to various free-to-play apps or something and talking about the pros and cons. Like, is there a good game selection? Does the bet slider give you freedom to bet what you want? That's a pretty important thing, right? It's my money. I should be able to bet however much I want. Not have the bet slider say, well, you either bet way less than you want or way more than you want. And then finally, hey, let's get back to this channel. Enough talking about me. Let's talk about me. So, yeah, Victor the Misanthrope. Hey, comedy reactions are coming back. I'm probably going to branch out from Go Animate, though. I think that that's kind of a dying subgenre. I might occasionally do it, but I do want to branch out and do other things like YouTube poops and stuff, funny videos. Again, comedic stuff, but I want to branch out. I feel like I need to do more things that are not just dying niches, dying subcultures that really just haven't been big in years. Because at some point I would like to actually make some amount of supplemental income from at least one of these channels. I think that's only fair, right? I put a lot of time and effort into recording the reaction, editing it, whatever. I think I would like to, it's sort of energy invested on return, and I don't see focusing on Go Animate being a good energy return on investment, as it were. Comedy skits. I don't know. I recently took a comedy class. I might act out some comedy skits and see what that does. I mean, who knows? But I do think that there are some funny ideas I could have, and I could just bounce them off and see what everyone thinks. Rants. Well, yeah, I mean, you know what rants are. I don't know if this is going to be any different than the other channel. Maybe this is more like personal things that just happened to me that day that really pissed me off, like maybe a customer having a bad attitude with me or something when at work. I don't even know. Random stuff, well, you know that, right? Like me just seeing cool things and saying, hey, here's a firebrand on the firewood or something. Or, hey, here's my cat. You know that. Online dating, trolling. So my idea is I would create a female profile and highlight some of the shitty stuff that men say to women on those sites. There's probably lots of cringe-inducing stuff that I could highlight and just show how a lot of men do not behave well. And don't get me wrong, a lot of women on online dating sites fucking suck, and not in the good way either. The same thing with men. They don't suck in the good way, they suck in the bad way. You know, they're non-committal. They're not really there to find someone. Maybe they're just there for attention. They're way too picky. But I haven't focused on the other side of the coin much, so let's see how that works out. Social experiments, I think this would be more comedic stuff, like maybe like there was one guy who tried to get people to sign a petition to ban dihydrogen monoxide, which is obviously H2O, aka water. And it was just seeing whether anyone actually picked up on that's what they were doing and called them out on it. I might want to do funny stuff like that. But again, it's sort of like I need a second person because who's going to hold the camera? Arcade rage reviews. I remember I mentioned this a while ago. I'd basically be going angry video game nerd on old arcade games like Pac-Man, Mappy, or whatever, those things. Because a lot of those are classics, so to speak, but they're really not good games. Like, you have to admit, whether or not you think they're classics, they're kind of designed in an unfair manner to screw the player. And I get that that's the point, but I'm trying to view this objectively and tear apart their flaws because, hey, how much money have I put into these machines and lost because of how they're structured? I think it's only fair I get to take a crack back at them. Live app reviews, it's kind of the same thing as the poker app reviews. It's just, you know, not poker games, I guess, and just say, because there's a lot of cringy apps that I get ads for when I play mobile games. Like, sometimes they make you watch them to get bonuses, and it's like, oh my God. You know, some of them don't even have level select codes. It's like, how in this day and age do you design a game that doesn't even have the ability to select a level to play when you want it? Like, they just have a rotation, and if you want to play a certain level, you have to play through the rotation until it comes up again. You don't get to choose. And that's sort of like, well, that's kind of a standard at this point, so how do you not have that? And then ones that have so many ads, like, I remember there's one where, like, they break the game in half. There's a 2-minute, like, challenge mode, and they break it in half and have a halftime ad 1 minute through. It's like, guys, what the fuck? It just kills the tempo of the game. And it's not like you didn't have enough ads anyways, you greedy shits. Indie games, I guess that's the same thing, except, you know, not apps, more like PC. Conway Life Files, I'd like to do mini documentaries on different patterns in Conway's game of life. I remember I uploaded videos of that a long time ago, like 8 years ago. I called it like Conway's Game of Life Files, and it was just showcasing different patterns in the thing. I don't know. I think that fizzled out because people kept unsubbing when I would upload a lot of videos at once, and I'm like, well, fuck this. Why am I even doing this? But I think it'd be cool to do that once in a while. There's Mr. Bill parodies. I don't know if anyone knows the old SNL skit, oh no, he's gonna be mean, it's Mr. Bill. But I used to be really big into like writing skits based on that, and I'd like to actually turn those into like mini shorts on my channel and just keep the character alive. I probably would add a disclaimer though, because like the way that they treated Mr. Bill was horrible. On a certain level it was funny, but it's like I want to make it clear that that's not how you treat someone. And there would be a revenge arc for Mr. Bill. He would get revenge at the end at some point too. So I have to say the Robot Chicken take of that was hilarious, because it's like he made himself out of C4, so when Mr. Hands crushed him like he always does, it's like, oh, now I'm going to blow up and kill you. What? Then there's Wave 666. Yeah, kind of how to play Wave 666. If you've seen my recent videos, you get the idea. Just playing through and adding text commentary. Advanced Wars by Web Replays. I do want to comment on those, but I don't know. I feel like maybe that's too niche-ish. Not to mention, I don't know if I'm as good as some of the players, so maybe my commentary wouldn't be as good as theirs. So I don't know. I'm kind of a bit apprehensive to do that. And then YouTube Poops. I'd like to do YouTube Poops, but again, it's sort of like, I don't know if I have as much app editing know-how as I need to do really good ones. And also, my creative juices just don't flow that way. Like, I don't know. I know how they do it. But I don't think my brain has the ability to come up with it on its own. But maybe I just need to start scripting and throwing ideas and seeing what happens. So we'll see. I'd like to try that. Either way, I think that's about it. Hopefully I don't have to record this again, because I think it's something last minute and like, oh, I should have included that, because that's what I've had to do before. See you guys next time. And enjoy some storm chasing stuff in the interim.